Thank you so much for being here tonight for our real first episode of We Found Adventure Live. I'm Maura Marco.
And I'm Bobby Marco.
And tonight we're going to be talking all about bugs and what bugs, how do we deal with bugs when we're out adventuring with our kids. Please let us know if you're here. Please comment if you have any questions as we're doing this.
All right, and here's a little intro.
What we're going to be covering tonight is we're going to be talking about different bug repellents that have worked for us and have worked for people that we know. We're also going to be talking about how to pre-treat your adventure clothes for when you're out there, which is kind of the most popular way of preventing bug bites these days. Talking about how to dress appropriately when you're out in bug country, especially in tick country, and talking about some things you can have around camp to help you keep the bugs away, and also when they do get a bite of you, what we can use to avoid the serious itchies and ouchies where your kids are concerned and yourselves, because bug bites aren't fun.
Yeah, and we got the idea to talk about this particular topic from a viewer comment. Jennifer was asking, how do we get over tick phobia? So we thought it would be good to have an episode where we really dive into how we deal with insects.
And tick phobia is a huge thing. I know I, as a child, was terrified of ticks. It really scared me away from doing a lot of different things. Then in my first day at summer camp, where we worked at Boy Scout camp out in Wisconsin, I had like 20 ticks on me in the first day, and that kind of cured me of it because I couldn't be freaking out. I was a camp counselor. I had to keep my cool. So exposure and sort of survival had me dealing with it.
Yeah, and like where I grew up, there were ticks everywhere. So it's just like a common occurrence of playing outside, finding a tick, running inside, and getting it off of you.
We both have had Lyme's disease twice. I don't know if that's gonna encourage you.
Make us an expert. It was a while ago, so we've learned from our wild tick ways.
Yes.
And my other claim to fame, Maura thinks this is pretty lame, but
this is really lame.
I was the deer tick king in Boy Scouts. We had a weekend. It was a week camp out, and I had the most deer ticks on me throughout the entire week. I think I hit 30. So every time you got a tick on you, you had to go to this guy, and he would take it off, and he'd collect it, and then they sent them off somewhere for testing.
Because so many people got Lyme's disease where we went to camp.
It was like there was this map of Lyme's disease cases, and where our camp was this giant bullseye.
So let's talk about bug repellent. There are a lot of options out there. There are a lot of DEET options. That's kind of the most popular, most well-known type of bug repellent that's out there. And when our kids were really little, I mean, they're still really little, we talked to our pediatrician about, can we use DEET? What does she recommend? And she said, if you're using 30% or less DEET, that will work on kids and it's safe to use. And the CDC does say that 20% DEET or more is effective to prevent ticks. However, our son is a thumbsucker and Rowan is very oral. She still puts everything in her mouth. So we decided that we were comfortable with DEET, and we decided to try an all-natural off-brand, and it kept him off.
Not an off-brand, but the brand off. Yeah.
It worked for like the first 5 minutes, and then we were just like wet because we just like kept spraying it on ourselves over and over and over.
And we smelled like a citronella candle.
We did. We smelled really nice. Yeah. So something that we have found that works for our family is Sawyer's Picaridin. You choose your pronunciation. This is a lotion, so it's not in an aerosol can, which is really nice. It's a more natural option than DEET. And we have found this to be really effective. Again, the CDC does recommend this as well for ticks, which is really great.
We actually don't use it all that much.
We've had this bottle for 2 years, and there are 4 of us.
So if like they're really bad, we'll put it on. But what has really helped us, sorry, we have dogs.
There are 2 dogs roaming around here.
Is this permethrin spray. And so this is something you actually treat your clothes with. And so what we'll do is a few days before an adventure, we'll lay all of our clothes out in the yard and we spray them both sides. And we spray our hats, we spray our shirts, pants, socks. And then you let it dry, and then it's good for 6 weeks or 6 washes. And it doesn't hurt your clothes at all. So we have a lot of different clothes that have been treated many times, and you couldn't even tell that they've been treated before.
Both wool and synthetic. It works great on anything.
Yeah, so we've been really pleased, and we know it's effective because on our first trip in true parent fashion, last minute, getting packed, getting ready. I was like, oh, we have to spray all of our clothes.
This was our first trip into the Boundary Waters.
And it's notorious for bugs, so we were freaked out that we were going to get eaten alive by mosquitoes. So I spray all of the clothes, and then it was, time to go, basically. So I only did the kids' clothes, didn't do our clothes. Maura and I came out of our trip covered in bug bites, and Jack only had one bug bite, and it was on his foot between where his sandals didn't cover his feet. And so just the fact that he didn't get eaten alive, we did, showed us that it really does work.
Yeah.
Or the mosquitoes just don't like him. But
yeah. And it's really nice because you don't have to do this on every single trip. It's good. You might have already said this. It's good for 6 weeks or 6 washings. And we've found that to definitely be true. It really lasts a long time. So we love using permethrin. And again, another product that the CDC does recommend for preventing ticks.
And there's a lot of stuff we're talking about. There's a pinned post in the comments that has links to it on Amazon. So if you're interested, it's also, these things are all available at REI as well.
Dick's Sporting Goods. Just look at your local sporting goods store. I'm sure that they're going to be available. So another thing we're going to talk about is just how to dress yourselves appropriately when you're out there. And this is especially good for kids, not only to prevent bugs, but also for that exposure to the sun, because it's really intense out in the summer. And so we always have our kids in long sleeves and long pants whenever we're out adventuring. And you might think, don't they get really hot? This is Minnesota. Summers are hot. And here's Tanner. And don't they get overheated in that high humidity? And the fact is they don't, because we buy good base layers for them that we use all year long. So we're buying them merino wool. We're buying them a synthetic base layer, something that's going to wick away the moisture. So if they do get a little sweaty, it's not clinging to their bodies when they cool down at night. So having those long sleeves, long pants, just preventing your skin exposure is going to prevent ticks and any sort of a biting insect. And then hats.
Yeah.
We love Sunday afternoons. I think this is the Kids Explorer hat or something. It covers their neck and their ears, and it has a bill. Works great in the rain, sun, and bug territory. And again, this is something we treat with permethrin before we leave. It does have a chin strap, which is great because it's, a little harder for them to rip off of their heads in the first 10 minutes. This is
my favorite part.
It has an adjustment on the back. So it lasts 2 to 3 years with your kiddo as their head grows.
So this is the 2 to 5 year old size. So, you're set for years.
It works great. I mean, the trick is just don't lose it. But we've had this since Jack was an infant, so works really well. There's also,
if you want to look stylish,
super fashionable, everybody, throw on your head net. We do have one for every member of the family. We do play with them quite a bit to try to convince the kids that these are fun to wear. And
I think it's fun to wear.
It's pretty exciting.
But honestly, the only time we've actually used it is when we're going to the latrine.
Yep.
Otherwise, they don't get used.
No. But to have them, it gives you peace of mind.
It's lightweight.
It is. It's just an easy insurance. In case you have, we have been swarmed before on trails, and this is before kids, and we've been close to tears, both of us, because of midges in Ireland, no-see-ums. I forget where they were. Was it just up in the Boundary Waters, maybe? But yeah.
And these you can get literally anywhere.
$5. Target. You can buy them anywhere. Do you want to talk about Nemo?
Yeah. So we've got this thing here. It's our Nemo bug out tent. So I didn't pull it out because I wanted to show you kind of how small it packs down. So this is a 9-foot by 9-foot tarp with mosquito netting on the sides. And so I'm going to pull up a picture here so you can see what it looks like in our campsite. So here is us in the Boundary Waters with it set up. You can see Maura and her sister Katie are in there making dinner. This has been a game changer for us for canoe camping because we get to our campsite and it's the first thing we set up, and we're protected if the bugs get crazy, and we're protected if a big storm comes through, which saved us a number of times last summer. We'd get to campsite, set it up, and it would start raining like clockwork. So it's just great to have along. It's a little too big for backpacking.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't carry it around for that. It's I don't remember the exact weight, but it's probably around 5 or 6 pounds. Yeah. But if you car camping or canoe camping, it's great. They sell poles for it, but we don't have them. We just use sticks and tie it to trees, so it's just freestanding, and that's all you need to carry with you. It's great for taking a nap during the day in it, an extra place to store your extra gear.
Yeah.
So it comes in really handy. And they make 2 sizes. That's 9x9. They make a 12 foot by 12 foot. That is a bit larger, obviously. And so we kind of use it if we have a group of 6 or more. Yeah. We'll use the 12 by 12. Otherwise, we'll use the 9x9.
It works really, really well. So now
we want to talk about what doesn't work. Another thing that doesn't work.
Oh wait, do you want to talk about?
Oh yeah.
Sorry. We have one more mosquito netting thing. This is Bobby's pride and joy.
I took up sewing last summer, and one of my first projects was I bought some mosquito netting from Ripsock by the Roll. It's a website, and I sewed basically a tube, and then sewed the top, and I made it to fit on top of our frame carrier. And so this is a Poco Plus frame carrier. And so we use this for backpacking. This is Rowan's right now. And what's great about it is they have a sunshade that pulls up from the back. And so that protects them really well from the sun, and if it rains a little bit, but it doesn't provide them any bug safety. So I sewed this little guy, and it fits right over the top, so it can keep Rowan really comfy if the bugs come out while we're backpacking. It won't cover her feet. Her arms are going to be up here, so it'll keep her arms and head covered. But her feet will be covered with the treated pants and with her shoes and socks. So she's got her own little bubble of bug safety here. While we're swatting away flies, she's safe. And it's a light color, so if it's sunny out, it's not going to absorb the heat. So I don't know how to sew. So even if you're marginally crafty, this is a nice, easy project.
I was impressed because I don't sew at all. So
it was rewarding. I had a bunch of fabric and I came out with a useful thing at the end.
There you go.
What's there not to like?
Right? The thing that doesn't work. Sometimes there are new gimmicks that come out and we get super excited because we think, oh my gosh, this is going to be such a game changer. So we tried the Thermacell backpacker.
Yeah. So you use you've got like a jet boil or an isobutane stove. It screws on the top
of the canister.
Yeah, and then it has these little pads that you insert in it, and then it ignites and is supposed to repel mosquitoes for a 15-foot radius is the claim. So I didn't want to be the sucker to try it out, so
it's a $40 purchase, so it's kind of an investment.
Yeah, so I bought it for my dad's birthday. That way I wasn't out anything if it didn't work.
But then we know if it did work.
Yeah. So
it doesn't.
Sorry, Dad. It doesn't work. He still brings it with on trips.
He does. We bring it with us in the hopes that maybe we're doing something wrong and maybe it will magically start working. But generally, the mosquitoes just land on it and then do a little dance and tease us.
Like literally, they land on it, and you're sitting there going, "Why did I spend 10 minutes trying to get this thing to work?" So if you have used the Thermacell backpacker
and have had success,
let us know,
please. And let us know where you are too, because I'm wondering if it's Minnesota mosquitoes. Are they just too hardy?
Yeah.
For the Thermacell.
It didn't do anything.
It didn't do anything.
Waste of $40.
So when things don't work, because I was also going to mention for bug repellents, we use the Picardin. Sure. We have heard from many other families that prefer a very more natural. We've heard from multiple people, lemon eucalyptus works for them. But if nothing is working for you and you're still getting bitten by those nasty bugs, whether it's black flies or mosquitoes, what have you, dealing with the after effects of that can be pretty intense. Some people don't react at all. Our son really, he welts up the size of marbles. So we've tried a lot of different things. As you can see here, I have a lot of products because nothing was really working. Kind of my first try was Afterbite. I mean, it's like in the name that's what it should do. Didn't work. I tried the Benadryl itch relief stick thinking, ooh, it's like name brand, maybe it'll work. Didn't work for him. But again, these things work for other people, just not us. I tried a Benadryl itch cream, didn't work. We tried Allegra itch cream, didn't work. Sometimes our triple, I forget what are these called, antibiotic care, it's like a triple ointment, something or other.
Triple tripe.
Yep, exactly. Sometimes this can help just with the pain because there's that pain, but what we have found really helps is hydrocortisone. This works for our kids for bug bites, eczema, rashes. So this is our go-to. This is what we're bringing into the wilderness with us. As you can see, it's pretty well used. But you're gonna, before you go into the woods, be sure to check it out. Try all the different products, see what's working and what's not working on your kids. So that way, if you're going into a wilderness setting where there are going to be bugs, you don't have to bring 5 different options, or you're not bringing one that you don't know if it's going to work, but you're bringing your sure thing. Another thing I always bring with is children's Benadryl. This is something that you should talk to your doctor before using. Ask for the dosage because it's not even on the bottle, and they'll let you know how much to give. Obviously, yeah, for babies, don't use, talk to your pediatrician. But we've used it for Jack a couple of times because he's had a few odd reactions to things. So he gets some Benadryl every now and then. And then also what I always bring with is an instant cold pack. And again, this can just help ease immediate pain. With bee stings, this works really well. I have tried the old mud remedy when it comes to bee stings of throwing some mud on there, and that has worked.
Our
doctor friend,
I was gonna call him a uncle-in-law.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So our brother-in-law's father, who is a doctor, recommended meat tenderizer for bee stings. So someone recommended that in our NOLS, our National Outdoor Leadership School Wilderness First Aid course, and we all laughed and mocked him because we're like, well, the bees won't get you, but the bears will.
I want to know have you used meat tenderizer, and do you smell tasty? Because that would be my fear, was making your own body smellable with the bears. So, yeah.
And we're talking a lot about ticks and mosquitoes and black flies because those are the things that are local to us. So I really recommend wherever you're adventuring, just get familiar with the things that can bite you, the things that can hurt you, so you know what to do in those situations. When we were in the Boundary Waters last year, Jack picked up his life jacket off the ground and was putting it on, and all of a sudden he started screaming.
Actually, it was just on him.
Oh, I thought that's when he was life jacket.
No, it was his life jacket was on him, and he just started to scream and said, "Something's in there, something's in there." We were in the middle of
Monument
Portage, which is
Canadian U.S.
amazing portage. It's really fun. So I ripped his life jacket off of him, and there was a huge beetle. Giant beetle, and it had pinched him with his pincers. And I kind of freaked out because I was like, what is this thing? We were so far into the backcountry. I was really anxious. But we used a little Benadryl on him.
But if we would have been more familiar with beetles in the area, then we could have been like, oh, it's not a big deal because we don't have
he was just scared
beetles in Minnesota.
And we were scared. And
everybody was okay.
It was fine. That's the only bad bug incident we've had. Aside from the time Bobby did upset a bee's nest. And
don't set your slack line up on top of a bee's nest.
Yes, because then you end up naked in your campsite because the bees are in your clothes.
Yeah.
We learned that once.
In front of friends.
It was a good time. So yeah, let's talk about our featured product or featured people.
Yeah. So like we said last episode, we want to feature, people like you out there who are exploring with your families. So last week we talked about Hike It Baby because that's had a really big impact on our family since our kids were born. And this week we want to talk about Amamaya Clothing. So this is a UK family that runs this. So Laura Sweet is the owner. And so I'm just showing a few pictures here. So they're Amamaya Adventure Baby on Instagram, where you can follow them and learn more. And you can go to her website, amamayaclothing.com. And they make merino wool clothing for kids. So right now they've got base layers and hats. And we just got a pair of the base layers for our kids. And I gotta say, when it came, I was really blown away because we've tried a few different base layers from different companies. We love Wee Woolies is another brand.
Yeah.
But Wee Woolies are really thin.
So it's great for summer.
It's great for summer.
But
this is this nice knit.
And you get a thumb hole.
It's like all these premium features.
Love. And I love the way she's stitched in the armpit area, so it looks like it's more breathable.
Yeah, it's got these holes in it. So just the quality of it's not going to come through on the video, but when you hold it, you're like, oh, this is
so soft.
Quality piece of apparel.
I want one for myself. Yeah.
And it's got this longer neck. It's not like a turtleneck, but just a bit more fabric there, so it keeps them a bit warmer. Yeah. And they're cut long. So this is the oh no, the size isn't on it. So Rowan uses this one, and I think it's the 1 to 2, and then that's the 4 to 5. Sorry, Laura, if I'm butchering it. But it's going to fit them a long time, grow with them. So it's a quality piece of clothing. And if you join our backpacking group on Facebook, Backpacking with Babies and Kids, go into our files, and we have an exclusive deal for free worldwide shipping. Since it is a UK company, you have to get it flown over from the UK. So it's great having that free shipping. So thanks for doing that for us, Laura. And check them out, or follow them on Instagram and get to see awesome kids running around. And
they're really fun.
Yeah. Cool. So
upcoming
events is our next little bit.
So it is time for 66th? I can't remember. Well, the biannual Midwest Mountaineering Outdoor Expo is coming back this weekend, April 27th, 28th, and 29th. There are a ton of vendors at this event. It is so much fun to come down to Midwest and to the West Bank of the U of M. And
this is in Minnesota.
Minnesota people. So we will be there both days, Saturday and Sunday. We're going to be talking about camping with babies and toddlers on Saturday. That's going to be at 2:15. And then on Sunday, we're going to be talking about family adventures in Moab. And that's at 3:30.
Yeah, so we did the camping with kids last weekend at REI. So it's kind of a double header for us, 2 weekends in a row. Had a ton of people come out. What was really exciting was usually, maybe we just assumed in the past, but we always thought that people are just coming to learn about car camping. And so this time we were asking, like, what kind of camping do you want to do? And pretty much the whole audience wanted to do backpacking
and canoe camping.
So it was really exciting. So we're going to have to up our game in future presentations to definitely have more of that content in it and not just assume everybody's car camping. But it's exciting to see people wanting to get out there with their babies.
But there's definitely becoming a shift in the mindset of parents and taking babies out, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, like Maura says, you're going to be at home with a baby not sleeping and miserable. You might as well be outside somewhere beautiful, not sleeping.
If you're not going to sleep anywhere, why not sleep outside not sleeping?
And we know not all of you are in Minnesota, so we'll definitely, in our next episodes, we'll be talking about a lot of the things we cover in that presentation. Some of the things we'll talk about is how do we nap when we're out there? Like, how do we keep our kids kind of on their schedule? How do we sleep? What tents do we use? So we have a lot of content that we want to cover more in depth in future episodes. And please let us know if there's things you'd like to see. And we can just like the bugs, that was chosen by the audience. So let us know what you want us to talk about, and we definitely will.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope your kids are sleeping well tonight.